welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Yes, g'day Tiger fans, and welcome back to the silly season as free agency and the trade period kick off. For all the upcoming tidings, press to your posturing and just general rumour rubbishing, Richmond's official podcast Talking Tigers will have you covered as we explore this and much, much more in today's episode. Now I'm joined by esteemed richmondfc.com.au journalist and Tiger tragic Tony Greenberg.
JB.
And we're missing Richo. Tony, good to see you. How have you been this off-season?
I've been okay, and I really appreciate that song. Obviously, that's for me, because I haven't been in since the last podcast, which is 5 weeks ago, so it's very nice that you play that straight off the top.
No, what is the song there?
Welcome Back, which was Welcome Back Cotter, which was a great show in the 70s. That's where... what's his name got his start?
John Travolta.
John Travolta got his big start. But yes, so it's good to be back. But where is Richo?
I believe he's off on holiday.
Is he?
Tone, yeah. Well, you and I are still here slaving away.
It's incredible. He's got his 8 months. He started his 8 months off. He works himself into a frazzle for 4 months and then has 8 months off. So
a well-earned break for Richo.
He's deserved it. He's up. I think he's up north, isn't he?
Up north in the heat somewhere.
Just chasing a bit of heat.
For all our listeners out there, if you do see Richo on his travels, make sure you stop him for a photo or talk shop. Whatever.
Yeah. Talk about talk Tigers or size of goalposts or
some of his theories. Get it back to the centre square.
No, he'd be more than happy to spend his time on holidays talking about all that stuff. So,
now, as well as you being back, Tone, welcome back, of course, to Neil Baum.
There's been some changes,
big changes in the footy department.
It's only taken him 37 years.
Yes.
So he's finally back here.
But it is good to see him back.
That's great.
On the website, excuse me, last week you would have seen him in the Richmond Polo, which would have...
Yes.
I don't know, but you would have gave me a bit of a lift and a bit of fresh air into the club. So
I know this really ages me, right? And it does really make me feel old. But I saw Barmy play his first game for the Tigers. First game of senior league football. It was against North Melbourne at Arden Street. It was back in the days when you'd walk from end to end, at those venues. So obviously, depending on which end you were kicking to.
Yep.
And I think Barmy kicked 4 on debut against North, and he was a very, very good player. People think of him only as a very rough player and tough, and obviously 73 grand final versus Carlton, but he was an extremely skillful footballer.
For sure.
Very, very good player.
What do you think? I mean, just seeing him around the club at the moment, it's almost like a calming voice and experience. And
he does.
Being away from the club, you still hear him on radio and in the media, and it's almost like a familiar voice coming back to the club. And
you're right. Very, very soothing and just common sense. There's just obviously through all his experience and just he has a calming influence and just a lot of common sense about him. I think he'd be a tremendous acquisition for the club, and obviously for Damien Hardwick, the coaching group, and the entire football department. Obviously, I think he'd be terrific for us.
And some other changes in the department is Clarkey going to head of recruiting post this year's draft as well. So
with Francis going to a part-time role, so Matty Clark's been at the club for a few years, 7 years, but no, he's a really good bloke, Matty Clark, and he's an astute fella. So we'll look forward to we'll get him on at some stage in the off season, in the lead up to the draft. Yeah, definitely.
And of course, our listeners can get involved with us here. # Talking Tigers. We'll get to a few of those later. We will get into all of the free agency and trade news a little bit later in the show. But another one, there's been a few coaching changes over the last couple of weeks, and Blake Caracella.
Very, very highly regarded.
Correct.
Blake Caracella. So obviously he'd been an assistant for, I think, 7 years at Geelong, and part of Premiership there, 2011. And he was he part of one? Certainly one Premiership, maybe more. As a coach. Certainly,
I think
2011, and then he had 3 years at Collingwood before then, and a very decorated playing career.
Yeah, absolutely. Two-time premiership player
at 2 clubs, and then suffered that terrible neck injury, which forced him into retirement and everything. But just got a few interesting things about him, like from his playing career.
Yep.
So his playing record, his best playing record in terms of wins and losses, right? Win-loss ratio was against Richmond. He had 10-2 10-2 record against the Tigers, and he kicked more goals against Richmond than any other club.
Okay.
Also, he has a Diploma of Education, a Bachelor of Applied Science and Human Movement, a Bachelor of Business, a Masters of Business Administration, and is a level 4 accredited coach. So he is a pretty smart cookie.
That's very good.
Yeah, but he's renowned for his tactical nous, a real student of the game. Yeah, very, very smart. So I think it'd be, again, a great acquisition for the footy department.
Must have gone through a good school there at some point
Yeah,
in time.
well, that's right. You said you went to school with him.
I didn't go to school with him.
No.
How old do you think I mean, he was...
Okay, so he was at what? Parade College.
And he, when I was at school there, he did come back. I think he was doing one of his courses there, and he was doing a bit of assistant teaching or something as part of his degree. But seems like a very nice man, and a bit like Barmy as well, just a calming, level-headed fellow, which...
Obviously coming from a pretty successful program, they're both of them at Geelong there. So
and a player
definitely.
as well with Essendon, Brisbane and Collingwood.
Yep, definitely.
And last night, late last night, but late in the working day yesterday, we got the approval to welcome back Justin Lepage as an assistant coach. And Tone, you would have been here during his whole time previously.
I was, and obviously he did a very, very good job as assistant coach. I know that the job that he did with Alex Rance rates him extremely highly. He's did a really good job as an assistant here for 5 years. Obviously had the couple of years at Brisbane, which were really tough. But that will hold him in good stead, obviously, to come back here as an assistant. He knows quite a few people here, of course. And as I say, very highly regarded by the players here and everything. So
for sure.
So whether he goes into the backline role, obviously Truck Rutten's had that for a couple of years.
And he's staying on, and he's doing the level 4.
Yeah, that's
coaching
right.
at the moment.
He's very highly regarded.
Absolutely.
But even if Lepper went, say, to forwards, which he could do, people forget that he started off his league career as a forward. He actually kicked 194 goals in 227 games. He kicked 45 goals in 1996, 50 in 1997, and 26 in 1998.
Right.
His highest scoring in a game, 6 goals against North Melbourne in 1996. Kicked 3 goals or more 34 times in a game. So if he was to be the forwards coach, I think Jack Rewalt and co would be more than happy with that. So
okay, well there
you go.
That's very good. So we're very happy to have Lepper back, and I think
welcome him back. Definitely.
You did mention then that the time he did spend as Brisbane as the senior coach can only hold him in.
Oh, you'd think so. As tough as it was,
regardless of what happened up there, but
it's good
coming
experience.
back as an assistant. I think it gives you a bit more of an exposure to what happens as the senior coach, and he can relate
definitely so
to that as well. And yesterday also as well, Ivan Maric signed a 1 year
heavier 1 year deal.
1 year deal.
So
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, obviously he's had really bad back issue the last year or two. So, but he thinks he thinks he's still got some good football left in him. He's feeling fit. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, Collingwood was looking at him for for a similar type role, a mentoring role, and to play a few games. So I'm not sure whether the plan is for him to just be there as backup. Whatever. I know we'll get to talk about a few trade whispers later that involve a ruckman or two. But look, you cannot question if his leadership that he displays around the club, his training, his just all the little things that are important to do around the club. He drives a lot of that, So I think from that point of view, it's great to have him still connected with the club. There's no doubt about that.
And if he is setting the standard for our ruckman, and especially our young ruckman, in
his
cousin
Soldo,
and potentially any other ruckman who do come to the club.
Yeah, they'll be in good hands with him mentoring.
Absolutely right. So, and one of his defining qualities is he is a competitor, and you want him to do that on the training track.
And he is. He's a fierce competitor. He's still only 30, 31. So it's not like he's he's still got a bit of footy in him. If his body's right and he thinks his body's right, well, he can still play.
And if you're going to play senior football and you need to play in front of a barn, then he's going to challenge you
exactly. So
to do that.
That
so
can
I
only
think in
be
that
beneficial.
regard, it's a pretty good decision as well. And
I agree with that.
And man, when we talk about rumours, his name has been floated, Dustin Martin. I think it must have been a very slow news day. He is contracted till the end of next year.
He is.
But
not sure Dusty's going anywhere.
You'd hope not.
No.
But if what he produced this year is anything to go by, we would like to lock him up very shortly, because since we did go to air, he's won the best and fairest at the Jack Dye Medal night.
Yep. Did we have the All Australian since we've been on? I'm not sure, because he made the All Australian for the first time as well. So anyway, he did that as well. So that was, I think, the day that we wrapped up. He became All Australian for the first time. Won the Jack Dye Medal. Yep.
and finished third in the Brownlow. So,
He's
if you've listened to the show during the year, we know how much we've spoken about Dusty already.
Oh, yeah.
But let's have another go.
Oh, yeah. Well, his performance in the Brownlow was just staggering. He had one vote after 7 games.
Yep.
Right? One vote. And I think at the same stage, like, Dangerfield was on... I can't remember. Anyway, he was on about 10 or 10 or 11.
Yeah,
or
and I think the whole club only had 7 votes by that stage.
And Parker was like on about 9 or 10 as well. So he's flown home. So he's got 24 votes from rounds 8 to 21, which is a staggering result to finish third. He's the only player in the history of the club that's got 20 votes or more in the Brownlow 2 years running. So that's a brilliant performance. I think
he got off to a slow start as well in 2015 and...
He did
put all the votes together late. So
yeah, no, he did. So no, it's an enormous performance by him. He's you'd like to think that he's going to win a Brownlow one day. I mean, considering that the team only won 8 games all season, right? So he's just dominated throughout there. So you win a few more games, and he's a standout in a few of those games. He's I think he's going to. I think he'll win a Brownlow before his career's over, and it'll be with the Tigers too. Because I'll be pretty surprised if he doesn't see out his career here.
Yep.
Yeah,
very
for sure.
Very nice. Now, between our episodes and those things that happened, there was also a grand final that was
there was a
grand
final. Yes.
You might have seen it. The Western Bulldogs got over the line,
and deserved winners.
We have to congratulate them for
they were
what
awesome.
they've been able to do over the year.
And what they achieved throughout the final series, and I know people sort of go on that the bye helped them, and yes, it probably did, but the fact is that they won 4 finals in a row. It was just amazing. And they've gone on the road twice to win 2 of those finals, to go over to the West and beat West Coast, right? Then they beat the reigning premiers, okay? Then they go over to Sydney, beat GWS on their home track, so and then to beat Sydney in the grand final. It's full marks to them, and what it does, it actually gives hope to the rest of the competition and to us, because they've shown what can be done, and you can turn things around pretty quickly. They were just their style of play, just their desperation. Look, people say it's a fairy tale story, which it is in many respects for them to break that 62-year drought and everything. But it probably sells them a bit short to just say it's a fairy tale, because the way they played is, they thoroughly deserved their premiership success, and well done to them.
And for a team that finished 7th, it's pretty rare that they've won 15 games as well. So they were,
that's right.
In that regard, they were pretty.
They didn't just sneak into the top 8.
Yeah,
You're
correct.
Because
right. For a lot of the year, they were challenging for the top 4, if not in it. And then they've only just missed out there and gone all the way through.
No, that's right. But you have to love the way they play. They just obviously they just swarm. They attack in numbers at the footy, quick hands. They're just their handball's just so lightning quick.
And I mean, it's been showcased. I mean, not showcased, but it's been promoted throughout how bad they were in as a club a couple of years ago.
They were a basket case
when Griffin left. McCartney was sacked.
Cooney, they got rid of Cooney.
And then they bought in Tom Boyd on
CEO was gone.
Big money. So
No, well done
to them. It can turn around pretty quickly, but they made big decisions, and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
So.
Now, at the risk of being accused of living in the past, and I'll plead guilty to that, but I just thought that there was a couple of things about, obviously, their win that reminded me of some tigerish things in the past. Yes. So they spoke about their sort of lack of grand final or finals experience, but the Richmond team that broke a 24-year drought in 1967 to win the premiership, they went to the finals that year with not one player had any finals experience, when we then went on and beat Geelong to win the 67 premiership. And in 1974, so it was obviously this time it was everyone was on the Bulldogs bandwagon against Sydney. It was sort of Sydney against the world, really, wasn't it, with everyone wanting basically the Bulldogs to win.
Yeah, a little bit, yep.
Back in 74, we took on North Melbourne in the grand final. North had never won the premiership, right? Never won. So everyone was behind on the North bandwagon and everything. This huge groundswell of support. Yep. But the Tigers just were able to take on the world and beat the world, won that grand final by 41 points. So just a couple of things there. And there's one other thing. Now, I don't want to wish to be disparaging about this. Obviously, there's a lot about Bob Murphy and everything and the whole thing. Right, and he did get that, he got the, Luke Brevage, nice moment when he presented with the medal. If there's one player in league football history that deserved to get a premiership medal and missed out, surely it was the late Neville Cronin. Neville passed away a few weeks ago, which is extremely sad, and we send a deep sympathy to Neville's family. But Crowie had played every game that season, got reported for something he didn't do, which was hit John Nichols in the 67 second semi-final. So 2 weeks out from the grand final, gets suspended for 4 weeks, never plays again. So that is a football tragedy. That was anyway.
Okay, and the reason we're here today
Yes.
Greeners is
Yes.
free agency has well and truly
Yes.
started now.
Well, it has indeed.
Just looking through and nothing has happened.
Nothing at all?
Nah, nothing at all.
Well, we're expecting, aren't we? I mean, there was a talk that Ty Vickery will
Well,
be,
today,
we think.
yeah, we've got to wait till Monday until the trades start, but free agency starts today, so Hawthorn
Okay.
can put a deal to Ty Vickery today, which
Okay.
we're probably, if you read, you're taking what you read,
Yeah.
you would expect that to happen
So
at some point today.
we can match that deal.
Well, as soon as the deal is lodged, I believe we
Yeah.
have 3 days to
Okay.
assess what we can do.
Right.
So, I mean, if they put it in today, we have until Monday because it still counts the weekend.
Yeah, is that likely to
of
happen?
what we
though?
can do?
Who knows?
Oh, it
You
depends
wouldn't-
because I think you need to take into account
What
the
the
contract
compensation
and what
is.
the compensation
Okay.
can get you for that.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, the things we can do is we can just say no, we're not going to match it. Here's all yours, and we get a compensation pick.
So what's the speculation around that pick? Is it it's a second round?
Second rounder in between, it could be 24 or
Okay.
as late as 37. I
Okay.
think is what's been floated.
Yeah,
so
right. Okay.
in that regards, we have the option to then match the deal.
Yep.
And then Ty could stay as a Richmond player,
Or could
we
be
could
traded,
trade for him,
or
or the
traded.
draft.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So there's still a few options for him
there's
to get
few
there.
options, and
Okay.
we need Hawthorn to confirm that they're going to
Sure.
put that to Ty. So
we obviously then weigh up what's the best for us out of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we do have many options available to us, which is I think one of the good things of free agency is that the player just doesn't walk out.
Sure.
We can get something back
Yep.
in return. But I would, for all intents and purposes, it
Yeah.
looks like Ty will be going to Hawthorn.
You think so? So we
And-
wait to see what we get in return for that.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But
So
this is a very hectic time coming up. You think that we will be you'd like to think we'll be a pretty significant player throughout the trade period.
yeah, I would like to think so. And judging by things that you read, and
Yes.
I mean, Hamish Hartlett, as long ago as yesterday,
Yeah.
was potentially linked to Richmond, and
Yeah.
then
So what happened? You just changed his mind.
I think Port Adelaide, due to their salary cap,
Okay.
he signed a 5-year deal
Yeah,
last year, and
Yeah, he did.
on a
Yeah.
fair bit of money. So whether it was Port Adelaide instigating him look to other clubs potentially,
Yep.
and Richmond were one of those clubs, and
Yeah.
either it wasn't a fit or he wanted to play at
Yeah.
Port Adelaide, continue
Yeah.
on there. So
Yeah. Okay.
he's the
Right.
one who's
Yeah.
decided to stay there, which
Yeah,
is
no,
fine.
it's-
But at this time of year, I mean, it is going to be,
I know.
pretty thin.
Yeah.
Things floating up
A lot
that
of
come
stuff.
out of the blue, and some
I know.
that have truth to them, some that don't.
Well, what about TT's own? Will he still TT's own Brett Delidio?
Well,
what is going on
When
there?
we put out the tweet before, there have been many people wanting to know about TT's own Brett Delidio.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know,
No.
to be honest, and
Okay.
I'd be surprised if anyone did. He's got a contract next year.
Yes,
he says
he
he wants
has.
to stay at Richmond.
So we are in the driver's seat then. If he decides that he wants to go, obviously then we have to get something pretty good in return for someone that's been obviously a very, very good player here for a long period of time.
For
So
sure, and someone
you're not just
who
giving
is
him away for nothing.
very important to the
Yes.
club and
Yep.
to the supporters. It's not
Yeah.
a player we would ever consider
No.
giving away lightly.
No.
So
Okay.
you
Be
keep,
fascinating
you
to watch.
keep reading Geelong.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, Lids has come out and said that he wants to stay at Richmond and he's got a contract. So,
Yeah.
it's going to take something pretty big there to change the mind.
Not
But,
sure he can still be TT's own if he goes down there, can he, or not?
wow, I
That's
don't know,
difficult.
Don't know what the Geelong version of
No.
TT is, but we would like to lay
Yeah.
claim to him
Yes.
still. But,
Anyway. well,
for all the people asking, redhead and tig tags and the tail, and
nah.
it's going to be a nervy time, I would
It
say,
will.
over the next couple of weeks.
So it
and
starts at 10 o'clock, doesn't it, on Monday?
on Monday.
Where all the clubs meet at the Etihad Stadium.
Yep.
They go into
if
little...
they haven't met already,
Well,
then
of course, I know that.
yeah,
but
so
yeah,
I think they
that's
have
just for show.
the
though.
official meetings. Yep. And things will get floated, and but I think the industry is maturing to the point where things aren't coming out of the blue anymore. That
No.
they
that's
are
true.
reporting on it, but
Yeah.
things still can come as a shock. And
We need to get Barmy on at some stage because
Yep.
I'd love to talk to him about his experiences on that Monday when they all get together and go club by club sort of meetings and that. He would have some pretty funny stories, I reckon, from his time doing that.
I think
over
so.
Many years,
Yeah.
that'd be good. So the one thing that we do know, right, is we know that Dion Prestia has nominated
Yep.
us as his preferred new football home. So
Yep.
obviously, then we have to try and get that deal done. But
Gold Coast, they're going to be pretty busy, you would think, trying to get. I mean,
Yeah, no,
not
they will.
not their deals done because they might want to keep their players, but they've got O'Meara wanting to go to Hawthorn as well.
yes,
And Prestia wanting to come here.
I think they want players too, because they've got a lot of picks. They've got a heap of picks inside the first 30 or something, haven't they? So they want, I think, to get players in return or whatever.
So, yeah, I mean, you would think the easiest option is pick 6 for Prestia, but I mean, with that comes plenty of risk on both.
It does. I mean, look, he's a proven player. He's their vice captain. He's played nearly 100 games. You know, he averages nearly 24 disposals a game. He's a proven commodity. You know what you get with him. He wins his own ball. He'll be a very, very good acquisition, obviously, you know, addition to our midfield and everything. But, yeah, I mean, pick 6, it's a pretty good draft and there's some very good talent around early. So whether it's a case of you give up pick 6, but you get something high back in return or whatever. I mean, all those things obviously will have to be
because that's sort of where our void is at the moment between pick 6 and the third round because of the trading of this year's second rounder last year for Chris Yarran. And the Tale has written in what's the latest in regards to Yarran.
Yes,
well, I can't say too much, but he's been at the club the last few weeks.
So he's been seen around the place.
And he has been doing some training with Tommy Couch from the Richmond VFL. So I guess it's a bit of an early start to the pre-season for Chris, and all going well, day one. Yeah, you would like to think that Chris is on the track.
Yeah, for sure. So when you mentioned about the that obviously we don't have a pick till the third round, but then if you get say a second rounder for Ty, and there's a few other players that have been mentioned. I mean, Reece Conqueror, I think, is looking to go elsewhere.
Well, that nothing official has really come out on Reece. Not that I've seen.
Yeah, okay.
But this time, I mean, we did take him with pick 6.
Yeah. No, that's right.
So we would like to get something pretty decent back for Reece.
Now, one of those trade whispers that you hear, I'm not saying that there's anything with this, right, but it is one of those trade whispers. But he has been linked with Sydney, who actually supported as a kid.
Did he really?
Yeah, he supported the Swans. As maybe some sort of a swap for Toby Nankervis. Now, you were up in Sydney. You worked up at the Sydney for a while. What can you tell us about Toby Nankervis?
Well, he was only there, I think, in my last or maybe the last 2 years that I was there. And, pretty good player. Yep. He came, I think he was a second or third round pick when they picked him up. And, you know, he's shown at AFL level that he's a pretty decent player, especially this year. And he played in the final against Adelaide when Tippett was missing. And, you know, did all right there. Left footer. Yep. I think probably the knock on him is his endurance and his tank. And,
but he's still only for a big.
He's still only
young.
young.
He's still only young for a big man. They don't come into there until their mid-20s sort of thing. So.
And he had a bit of competition to get in front of up there at Sydney with Tippett and Pike before that, and also Naismith's his emergence. So,
well, he'd be the type of player you'd think then as a ruckman that would fit in. Then if you've got Ivy signing the 1-year deal that's there as backup and mentoring, and you've got Hammer who obviously had his best season of league football, someone that would slot in between those two.
I think so, and I think would be probably Nankervis's strength is that he can play forward.
He can play forward
and
too.
He can. Yeah. He hasn't really shown it at AFL level, but he has really good foot skills for kicking goals as well. So,
and again, he's been deprived of opportunity, hasn't he? There, obviously, with a few, as you mentioned, ahead of him. So, look, we're not sure, but that's a whisper. That's a whisper. We've made something of that whisper, definitely.
And he's a young kid from Tasmania who are from Georgetown, I believe. And
Richo would know all about him then, wouldn't he?
Hang on, the Tales just said the Barmy said on SEN the Conker's staying, so
there you
whispers
go.
Everywhere.
There you go. No, we'll just...
Well, there you go, Nankervis is...
it doesn't mean that's not happening, but it won't be then for Conker.
But he's come from Georgetown, which Richo, I think, said was inland or on the coast at one point, and it turned out to be the complete opposite.
Well, so you think he'd know. He's from Tasmania.
That's right, but...
What is he doing, Matty? Come on. Notice he doesn't go on holiday down there. He's got to go somewhere a bit warmer, doesn't he? Shame.
Good on him.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, what else on the sort of trade whispers type or players that have been mentioned? Ben Lennon.
Ben Lennon was one that his manager came out and said he would be looking for a trade out of Richmond during the trade period, but I haven't really heard anything else.
No, it's been pretty quiet. He was sort of linked to Carlton for a while there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think the link to Carlton came last year as well when he wasn't signed, and during that free agency as well. So I'm not too sure. Just something to wait and watch. Yeah. Any other whispers that you've heard?
Oh well, obviously Steve Motlop's name's been mentioned here as well, but I'm not sure that's there's much in that. Who knows?
Yep.
It's just a fascinating time.
There was one. Roxman tweeted in earlier wanting to know with Chappie's retirement and
He's gone to Melbourne.
He's gone to Melbourne as the offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. Nice fancy title, isn't it?
It's very fancy. And good luck to Chappie over there.
Yep.
Whether we should be looking to shore up our backline in terms of key tools and potentials who could be on the market there.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of key tools, haven't we? Rance and Asprey. Dave Asprey got some continuity with his football, and I think with that under his belt, will be a better player again next season. So, and you've obviously got Grimes, who can play tall or small.
Yeah.
So,
but do we have much cover?
Well, you could always do with a bit more, couldn't you? Hey. But I think there are. I'm not sure. I think there are other areas that you'd be looking at first, and I think that other, ruckman that we spoke about before, and I think midfield. And I think if there's one thing that the Dogs showed, you can't have enough midfield depth. Good midfield depth is just crucial.
Correct. And I think what the Bulldogs did have was midfielders who could push forward.
That's
and
it.
Kick goals and rotate through.
They didn't have a tall forward. Yeah. Well, they had a couple. I mean, Tommy Boyd, but he was played ruck really, didn't he? And did extremely well in that position.
Yeah.
So they really had a really mobile forward line, as you say, with a lot of those mids then that were resting forward. So
that was one of Richmond's strength in 2012, 2013.
It was.
Dusty and Lids could rotate.
Yeah.
I mean, Lids still does now. Koch would go forward and you'd isolate them one out because they were such good players on the lead who could mark out.
Well, I think hopefully if we can secure Prestia, that would enable that to happen. And then if you could get another, pretty handy mid in from somewhere as well, which would add to that depth, then that would enable that to happen more regularly. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
You got anything else for us?
I think we're done.
Greeners?
I think we're done.
One thing we do need to give a shout out to.
Yes.
What were you going to go with?
Well, I was going to go with Manfred.
Yes.
Manfred's become a dad.
Our great friend Manfred, who did our VFL reports during the season, has become a father for the first time.
Well done.
It's a young Eden Rose, so congratulations to you, Manfred, and I hope you're listening, and all the best, and hopefully getting some sleep.
Job well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did a great job there.
Yeah. Well, we send our best to Richo, just lying on the beach up north.
And also thanks to the listeners. Hopefully
and we're back next week, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll be back next week. And hopefully we've got a bit more to talk about during the trade period. So.
All right. Righto.
Got him on the spot. Welcome back.